top court has banned the sale of firecrackers in Delhi, in the National Capital Region, this Diwali. So starting today till the 1st of November, there is not going to be, or at least it's not going to be allowed for anybody to sell firecrackers in the capital or in the National Capital Region. So remember, there's no ban on the bursting of firecrackers, but the Supreme Court has said there is a ban on the sale of the firecrackers. We have the father of one of the children who had petitioned the court, a father of a 3-year-old who went to court, and because of whom today we have this big verdict coming in. Saurav Bhasin. Saurav, 10 days away from Diwali, you are undoubtedly pleased with the court's verdict. What exactly did the court say today?
Yeah, no, so look, we're absolutely over the moon with this order, and I mean, it's the first step in a long fight to clear up the air in this city, but effectively what the Supreme Court has said is what you summarized, that you cannot have any more sale of firecrackers in the NCR and Delhi region until the 1st of November. So that effectively brings into, which goes right to Diwali in the sense that that's where we have the most amount of firecrackers being burst. So I think for the first time in at least my time spent in Delhi, we're going to have a Diwali where we're going to actually be able to see a perceptible difference in the air because we're not going to have a huge amount of firecrackers being burst.
Saurav, as the mother of a 2-year-old myself, as someone who herself suffers from, ENT problems this time of the year in the winter, I can't thank you enough myself. But as you pointed out, this is the first step in a long fight, because from what I've understood, the court has basically said that they are only doing this Diwali because they want to see if there's an actual connection with the quality of air pollution and the sale of firecrackers or the bursting of firecrackers, because the industry says that there isn't. The two aren't naturally connected.
You're right. I think the Supreme Court has taken the more precautionary approach, and I think that's absolutely the right way to go with it, because we're talking about our health and the health of our children. So it is the absolute. And if you just think about how this ban came in place, it came in place last year immediately after Diwali, because the Supreme Court, the judges themselves saw what was outside their windows and what was in their houses, and they put it in place. So I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to see a perceptible difference in the air quality, and there are more than enough studies out there, including some which were quoted by the Manufacturers Association and others, which show that there's a direct linkage between bursting firecrackers and various noxious and polluting elements, but also PM 2.5 and PM 10, which are extremely harmful for all of us. So just coming back, yes, it's a long fight, but this is a big win in the sense that what happens on Diwali night and the days leading up to Diwali and some afterwards is a massive harm which is caused to all of us, and the little ones are the most affected by it because their lungs are developing and other things. So while we'll continue to fight the fight, right now we have to celebrate this little victory. And if nothing else, it brings so much attention to the issue. People will hear it, read about it, know about the impact of all the pollution that is there, not just from firecrackers, but from the transport with the fuel that we've got, the lack of buses in the city. So it's a much bigger fight. But for now, at least we have one victory to go against the pollution.
All right, so a small victory in a much bigger fight. Thanks so much, Saurav. Thank you for the brave fight on behalf of everybody, all residents of Delhi and the National Capital Region. But let's go across to Barun Agarwal. He's from Care for Air. Barun, you are one who has been working consistently on this issue. You've been trying to create awareness about this issue. Let me ask you this, because the court clearly has passed this verdict, and this holds for this year for Diwali. It may change its mind next year if there isn't a perceptible connection or the air quality levels don't go down perceptibly this Diwali. That, of course, assuming that there aren't firecrackers burst, because there's now a ban on the sale of firecrackers. You are confident that the two are clearly connected?
Completely. I've been using some of the world's best technology to measure air pollution, and I've been doing it for 4 years. And on Diwali night, on Firoz Shah Road, very close to India Gate, 4 years ago, I had a reading of 3,200 micrograms per cubic meter of the particulate matter, the PM 2.5. And the last 3 years, the readings have ranged between 1,800 and 3,000 micrograms on Diwali night. And the week after Diwali, they've ranged between 300 and 1,800 micrograms per cubic meter. And the rest of winter, it stays between 200 and 400. So there is a clear linkage that one day and the 1 week after Diwali, the numbers are completely off the chart. There is no doubt in my mind, scientifically, that there is a clear relation to this.
All right, so no doubt in your mind, says Barun Agarwal. Barun, you know, every year, this time of the year, we see this exodus. At least people who can afford it try and get out of the city post Diwali, try and get their children out of the city. But of course, not everybody can afford to do that. But are you concerned, Barun, that even though the court has made this historic verdict, we could still see firecrackers being burst this Diwali? Because of course there's a loophole. It just says there's a ban on the sale of firecrackers. It doesn't necessarily say that you can't burst firecrackers.
I completely agree. I believe as of last week, there were close to 50,000 tons of firecrackers available in Delhi for sale. And one way or the other, they are going to get out, and there are people who are going to burst firecrackers in the name of whatever you call it, whether religion or festival or festivity or celebration. And the numbers are going to go up. So I hope that, this little verdict has restored some confidence in the judiciary, in my mind and in our minds. But we hope that they can see that this is not the end of the battle that we have against air pollution. This is just the beginning. And we need to continue to fight this, and we need to continue to do the right thing so that the availability of these is stopped at source. We need to provide better skills to the workers in Sivakasi and stop the children from making these firecrackers, because there's a lot of harm in the back end of this firecracker industry as well that can be prevented with this one simple step that the Supreme Court, Apex Court, has taken today.
Barun, you're absolutely right. There are always two sides to every story. I'm glad you brought up the point of view of the industry that's behind firecrackers. It's going to be a huge economic loss for them. You are an activist. You've been working on the issue of air quality, but you're also a man of science. So what are the suggestions that you make that how we could actually perhaps at some point, maybe in the future, burst firecrackers, yet not have to die by breathing poor quality air afterwards? Is one way actually to improve the quality of the firecrackers that we're producing in India today?
I think there's a very simple solution to that. You know, I lived in the U.S. for 13 years, and on the 4th of July, every city of the United States had a city-wide single fireworks display, and the whole city would come together and celebrate that fireworks. In India, it's unfortunately the opposite, where every single household believes it's their right to burn firecrackers and harm the entire city. So if the city takes it on as a responsibility to do a grand fireworks display, say perhaps at India Gate, where we have a great display on the 26th of January and 15th of August, and on Diwali night we have a grand display of fireworks so the city can enjoy that, it would dramatically reduce the overall fireworks issue in the city, and every city can take that on. And if I was to take this one step further ahead, we could do laser shows of Diwali firework displays, which are completely non-polluting, which are absolutely grand and beautiful shows that can be done at different parts of the city also, and hence reduce the fireworks and the toxic smoke that comes out. I don't think you can make beautiful fireworks there's nothing called green firecrackers. The smoke, the sulfur dioxide, the nitrogen dioxide, the harmful heavy metals that come out of these fireworks, there cannot be safe fireworks. So minimize it as much as possible and eradicate it with cleaner, different kinds of displays rather than fireworks. That's my thinking on this whole issue.